and welcome back to Mads World. I'm your host Mads, and I hope you've been enjoying the show. If you have, please remember to subscribe, rate and review the podcast, as it's the simplest way to help out the show. I'll give you a second. Do it right now. Yes, I'm talking to you listening. Okay, thanks. Or you can find me on social media and tell all your friends about it. This week, I'm joined by Katie Mack, creator and host of the very first matchmaking podcast, Single Sounds. Katie interviews single Londoners, and the listeners can write in to date her guests, a new dating method that hopes to put personality first and make the dating process more enjoyable. Since starting in February 2022, Katie has set up many first dates, and earlier this year announced her first official couple who met through the podcast process. In this episode, we chat about our funniest dating failures, as per usual, the problem with dating apps, dating fatigue tips, and much, much more. Hello, Katie.
Hello.
This is so exciting. You know what? This is actually my first in real life podcast that I've ever done.
That is really exciting.
And I feel kind of nervous.
Such good vibes.
It's such good vibes. And we're having a couple of Prosecco's. We're having a couple of freshenettes. And I didn't know that podcasting could be like this, but I like it.
Opened you up to a whole new world.
In fact, I love it.
This is my favourite part of podcasting. Like,
just meeting randoms.
Yeah, you actually become friends, which is so nice.
It's so good. So let's get started with our speed date question round, which is a couple of random questions. And then we're going to talk all about your podcast, Single Sounds, which is the new thing in dating. It is a dating podcast. It's sort of like a dating TV show.
Yeah, kind of.
But it's a podcast.
Matchmaking podcast.
Incredible. So my first question is, what are you most passionate about?
It's dating, obviously, but it's the niche of I want people to enjoy dating.
Yeah.
And I think it should be fun. And I think so much of the modern dating methods, aka the apps, sorry to shout down on the apps.
Yeah.
I do appreciate what you do, but I think so many people abuse them and they don't give you a really good sense of how fun dating can be. It's just trawling through profile after profile after profile. It feels like a never ending swiping awful world. That's
Honestly.
just overwhelming. Every time I was on them, I needed breaks from them. I've never had a break from any other social media. I know some people do Instagram breaks or Facebook, whatever you use. I've never felt I needed a break from social media. I've always felt like I could just detach and it didn't impact my well-being. But the apps, different
Honestly,
level.
Do you know what? It actually makes me so happy to hear you say that you want it to be fun, because the last week I have been so just disenfranchised by the whole dating culture, app culture. I put a poll up on my Instagram. It was is it me or is dating dead in London at the moment? And it was 80% yes, and it honestly had hundreds of answers.
Everyone keeps telling me the apps
what the heck
have
is
just
going
got
on?
Horrific, as in they were bad initially, but everyone keeps saying now they just meet no one nice, no one fun, no one genuine, almost just get ghosted left, right, centre. And
it's no bad people. It's more the thing is, I'm guilty of it too, so I know exactly what's causing this. It's I'll match with 10 people, for example.
It's too many.
And then it's too many. And I open the app, I get overwhelmed. I'm nah, look at that, can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And then I just get out of it. I'll do it later. There's no downtime where I'm you know what I'm going to do to unwind? Talk to a bunch of strangers that I find attractive. What?
Yeah. It's because they have no priority in your life. And I think maybe, to be fair, maybe the apps haven't changed too much. Maybe as we've got older, our time is way more precious and important to us, and we value it so much more. And we don't want to waste our time on strangers. I don't want to waste my Friday, Saturday nights talking to someone that I probably have nothing in common with.
Honestly. And do you know what's so ironic that you say that? Is that last week my only free day was a Saturday. And I was okay, I'm going to ask this guy if he's free Saturday, because he said, when are you free? But I was is that tragic?
Yeah, do you feel lame?
Is that lame? And I had to preface it and be I'm free Saturday because my plans got cancelled.
Yeah,
it's it's not I'm not just actually free. And then it got to the day, and then he was I messaged him and I was hey, is this happening? Because I'm going to go do something. No reply.
Ugh.
And I was this is why
it's prime time.
I get that it's prime time, but if it's prime real estate of your week, don't put it on the market.
Yeah, don't
say yes.
Ever agree.
So dumb. So I was do you know what? I'm going to go to the Midlands. So I'm going to I paid 47 quid and I went up to Derby. I know it's Derby, and everyone was why would you do that? Don't care. My friend got a kitten. And that,
oh, yeah.
That's why I went there.
Best excuse to go anywhere. I'd travel a long way to see a kitten.
Me too. You have a cat and it was walking in the room before
Yeah.
and I really liked him. So, right. The next question is, what is your greatest achievement?
Oh, yeah. This was difficult because I thought it was my first initial answer was so lame. And I was like, can I actually say that?
Say it, please.
I was like,
No,
she's
say
going to
it.
think I'm so boring. I was like,
I already think you're boring.
but it actually was like,
Okay.
it's the only thing I've ever done that's made me cry. As in, like, I was so proud of myself, I cried
I'm going to cry.
when I saw it on the board. And it was that I got a first in my first degree, as in my undergrad degree. I know. And I just thought, the reason it was so special to me is because I've been such like a average middle person, and when it comes to like academia, like I was never like the top, I was never the bottom. I was just always felt like I was like cruising. Do you know what I mean? Like 60% would always be me. Like, so I was like, when I found out that a first was like over 70, I was just like, no way. I was like, I'm not a 70 person. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh no, I'll get 68. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll be like that, so close, but not get there. But yeah, other than that, it has been starting the podcast. Like, but this is a new thing for me, so I feel like that was why the first came to mind, because I didn't cry when I started the podcast, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like maybe when I get my first, I don't know, proper sponsorship, I might cry. But probably not. It just like that felt like, because obviously you'd work towards it for like, well, it felt like my whole life, to be honest. Like this will come up in another question, but I feel like I've been such a classic, like, follow what you're supposed to do, like, you know, do the A-levels, do the uni, do the grad job, like, all been so processed, and that felt like the pinnacle of what I was meant to achieve. And like, also it was really cute, I rang my dad and he couldn't even speak, he was just crying as well, so it was just really special.
Aw, you know what? That wasn't lame.
It wasn't lame.
I loved it. If anyone thinks it's lame that's listening, switch off, because the rest of this is going to be really lame. The next question is, what is something that always makes you smile?
Oh, this was so easy. It's my cat.
Oh, I like your cat too. We just met. Oh my God, he's on the couch right now. I can see him.
I literally was like, oh, no, this is so easy. It's just like, animals have always been like really special to me, but cats, they're just my soulmates. I know like everyone's like, oh, dogs are better. I disagree.
Same. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like I am a golden retriever. If I'm listening to a live version of an album, some stupid little indie rock album, I'm running around that house like a golden retriever. I've got my tongue waggling. I'm like I am a dog. Guess what I love? Cats.
Yeah.
Dogs
I just love
cats.
they're so independent. I don't like the neediness of dogs in comparison. Like, I can't own one. It would be way too much commitment. The cat literally does whatever the fuck he wants. And I love that about him.
I like cats because they're like me. They're sexy, skinny,
Sassy.
so sassy, and they love being touched.
And fluffy.
They're fit, they're flirty, and they got double Fs.
I love it. That's how I feel. I feel like I identify with the cat so much more.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like being touched if I'm not feeling it, and that's what cats do. Like, they'll let you know if they don't want to be touched.
Oh my God, you know when you try and pat a cat and its back just turns into like the Red Sea and it's like, see ya, and it goes whoop, goes down.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, funny. All right, next question is, biggest risk you've ever taken?
Oh yeah, this was so hard. This kind of leads on to like,
I love a hard question.
What I was saying before, because I am like the most risk averse person you will ever meet.
I don't think that's true. I think you just think that about yourself because you started a podcast, which is literally
this
terrifying.
is why it was the biggest risk I've ever taken. But let's go back to me, previous podcast. Podcast me is a different me, okay?
Transport us back.
Yeah.
Take us back.
So like, I go to casinos.
Wait. Not the Hippodrome.
No. Just like when we're at uni, we used to go to like the classic like ones after nights out.
Wait, is that a thing in England?
Yeah, I don't know why it was, but okay, first of all, I had no money, which obviously will like probably lead into this, but like some of my friends would bet so much. I'd be up 20 quid. I'd be out the door. I'd be like, I'm taking that as a win.
That's my Uber home.
Literally, I was like, I'm out. I can't bet anymore. I've won. I've won life. And they were like, Katie, what are you doing? You've got 20 quid. And I was like, yes, exactly. What do you mean? What am I doing?
Got one life and I'm going to live it by going home and going to bed.
Exactly. I was like, I'm up. And that's how much, how unlikely I am to take a risk, I feel. It just encapsulates that as a perfect example. So 100% the biggest risk I've ever taken is starting the podcast. Not only did it require so much time, I've had to like go part-time in my what I like to call real job, which was so scary. I feel like people just thought that was like so easy to do, and it wasn't for my brain to comprehend like maybe I need to give myself space to work on this side thing that I actually want to turn into like a proper business. And to do that I need to give myself time, space, and that was so scary because I've been told my whole life, like how I kind of said earlier, that's the route you follow. And it was really scary to think I'm not going to maybe not follow that route anymore. Like maybe I'll just, I don't know where this is going to take me. I'm just going to have to see. And that was the first time in my life where I've not had a plan. Like every stage I've been like school, undergrad, masters, grad job. It's all been like every promotion I've got like on the dot. Like I know what year it's going to be. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I've been
feel like
so planned.
As a woman as well, it's a lot harder because I feel like going out and having your own business, it just feels like something that men do, and it's something that you hear about all of your male friends doing. And I've had boyfriends that are always like, I'll help you turn your podcast into a business and all this sort of thing. So as a woman, I think it is quite a brave thing to do because like we were saying before, 17% of podcasts are hosted by women.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we're a niche.
Yeah, we're a niche. That's what I'm saying. So if you're out there listening to us, the chances of two women within the 17% being together having an episode.
Wild.
Very low. This might be the first girl-on-girl podcast of all time.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe. I'm going to go out there and say that it is. I don't know. Maybe it is.
But yeah, it's made me bring up like loads of insecurities about myself. Like having to do video, that was like so hard for me because I really hate my double chins.
You literally don't have a double chin.
Oh, I do. I've thought about it. I've thought about how to surgically remove them many times.
Oh, don't.
I know, I've not done it.
Oh, don't. Honestly, there's so many things. I was having this chat with someone last week who runs a page called F Girls, which is like a feminist and anti-misogyny page. And we were chatting about the whole, like the way that TikTok has influenced the way that women feel about themselves. And oh my God, your cat who is antisocial is rubbing on my leg.
He's really happy with you. You're a cat person.
He knows I am. But yeah, we were just saying the way that even with the bold glamour filter, that trending thing for the last few weeks. So it's this filter that basically you wouldn't know it was on unless it had a label saying that it was on. Yeah. And the way that can distort and give people body dysmorphia about how they really look and make them unhappy with how they really look, and that alongside, you know, the cosmetic surgery industry paying people to tell women, and I suppose men as well, that certain things are wrong with their body, like buccal fat. So having chubby cheeks, whereas 10 minutes ago, having chubby cheeks was a good thing because it made you look youthful. And it's just so damaging and it's so scary. And I mean, I don't blame you for feeling the influence of that at all, but I do think it is so brave to start a podcast, and it's completely valid. Like, you know, feeling afraid to do the video part, because even coming over here I was like, oh my God, should I do a winged eyeliner? Should I wear mascara? Whereas it's like guys just rock up and they're just like, yeah, I basically just like watched loads of Andrew Tate podcasts and just came over and now I'm ready to just like say whatever comes into my head, whether it's racist or not. I don't even care. Like, so yeah, I think that's a really good answer. My next question is, which is something I always ask on this podcast because it's a dating podcast, so let's be honest. We want to know, what is your funniest dating story?
Oh gosh, yeah, I do like this one.
I love this one.
I had to like think about this because I've had like lots of tragic ones and I actually don't think they're very funny, like when they boil down. But this one's funny because it's more about how I reacted, and I love it because I was really just going for it. It was when I was in an app hiatus, so I wasn't on the apps. I was having a break and I was like, you know what, I'm going to meet someone in person, and I was really manifesting this.
Love that.
And I went to this swim club every Tuesday, and the boys there were very not cute.
Was this in uni?
No, this is in London.
That is very, very good of you in London to go to a swim club.
I know, right? It was part of my gym and it was free.
What gym?
That was they don't do it anymore. It got count. This is pre-COVID. This is 2019.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah, good old days. When it came to fun, free things, nothing's free anymore. They've stopped it. But yeah, it came with your gym membership, which is like, I used to swim, so that's where that came from. And I didn't want to join a club because it's literally like £100 a month, and I already had a gym membership, and I was like,
you're not doing it.
That will do, yeah. So this new guy came. He was beautiful. 6'3", like just gorgeous, really friendly, already wanted to chat, like when we're on the poolside. And I was like, this is great, because what I love about, I used to date swimmers all the time when I was younger.
So specific.
Because they see you at your worst.
Yeah.
Do you know how uncute you look in like a training costume? They're not like cute bikinis. They're like, you know, they squish you in.
Yeah.
You're wearing a hat. You look like an egg. You've
like
got
a bald cat?
Yeah, you've got like goggle marks all over your face. I will show you what my goggles look like. They're reflective. They're huge.
They sound really hot,
honestly,
and sexy.
You look horrific. No, you can't wear any makeup. It'll just come off in the pool. You look even worse. So
I like it.
If he's chatting to me and flirting to me on poolside,
yeah,
that's a great sign. And this was post workout as well. So I was like, this is my husband. I found him.
Okay, you're going to have a regular segment on Matt's World on how to get guys, because what the fuck?
It's niche, but it works.
Who is she?
Because I was like, when he sees me, when they do see you out of the pool, they're like, oh, she's even fitter than I remember.
When she's like not looking like a bald egg, reflective egg.
Exactly.
It's like one of those bum eggs.
Exactly. It's genius. Anyway.
Okay, go.
So yeah, I stupidly though, he said, I'll see you next week. And I was like, great, see you next week. Thinking I'm just going to keep this like super low and casual. I'm not going to like ask for his number. I'm not going to social stalk, whatever. Next week comes, he doesn't show.
Oh God.
And I was like, no, like he was meant to be my new husband.
He was 6'3", and that's the only thing that matters apparently.
He was stunning. And just really nice. Like I got a really good vibe from him.
I'm invested.
So anyway, the second week comes, he also doesn't show. And I'm actually just like kind of gutted. I already told everyone at work, you know.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it's so embarrassing. Every Tuesday or Wednesday morning, they'd be like, did he come? And I was like, no.
And Janet's there at the tea point, and she's been in a marriage for 20 years.
And she's not understanding.
She's got nothing else going on at all.
Exactly.
This is the biggest thing
the
biggest thing in her life.
Making you feel shit.
And just look at the look in her eyes when you're like, oh, I haven't heard. And she's like, oh, okay. She goes back to just switching tabs between random news websites like The Sun. She hates it.
She hates life. So Janet kept asking me, and I was like, you know what? Fuck, Janet, I'm going to find him. So I went home, and I lived with two girls at the time, and one was like, no, we can do this. Like, all I had was a first name. That was it.
Oh my God, you FBI'd him.
She was like, what did you learn? And I was like, ooh, I learned in this conversation that he did not finish the London Marathon in 2018.
Oh my God, stop.
So she was like, there's data on that. And you can.
Stop!
We went on the do not finishes of the London Marathon in 2018. I knew his first name, so you just type that in. It's a very common English first name, by the way.
Is it George, Tom, Jack?
It was George. How did you know that?
Because it's the name of the next king, so it's very obvious. Wait.
Don't know if we want to include that, but anyway.
We'll beep it out. We'll beep it out.
I don't care. He knows this story. Anyway. So we found his, like, basically we Facebooked then every single George that was under this.
I'm sure there was only like at least
honestly wasn't that many.
2, 3.
There was like 7 max. Do not finish or like did not start. I feel like they were under the same thing. So I found him on Facebook, and obviously I recognized him straight away, and I was like, perfect. But then we were like, now what do we do?
Now it's weird.
Yeah, I can't Facebook message him, and he knew I didn't know his second name.
And now you've seen his mum's holiday to Morocco in 2012. Like, it's...
I feel like you know this person. He loved surfing holidays in Morocco.
Shut up.
This is really weird. Yeah.
It's okay. Everyone's mum has had a holiday in Morocco.
That was one of the things we bonded over. Anyway.
Yeah, and she got a henna tattoo, but she's probably racist.
Anyway.
Okay.
This is weird. But you're like just describing this guy perfectly.
I'm
without
George.
You were. Anyway.
Okay, go.
So we were like, what do we do with this information? Now it's even more annoying because I know I can kind of reach out to him, but I can't. So the swim email didn't BCC all the people it sent to. So anyone that ever been to the class got like the email updates, and also did it in like order of joining, like in chronological order of date. So I could see there was like an email with the same name
No.
at the end. So I took it to work and I was like, what do I do, Janet?
Janet was like, honestly, she was like, I'm hanging on by a thread here. This is the only good thing in my life.
So we all decided it was a terrible idea that I should email him.
Yes.
And I emailed him and I said, I explained, I was like, I hope this is the right George. I found your email on the mailing list. Like I made it really clear where it had come from. I saw you were like the last to join. So I hope this is you. If it is, here's my number. Do you fancy going for a drink?
Oh my God.
I was so forward. Because I was also in this app hiatus of like, I'm making this work.
I'm going to email a person I met once in a swim cap with a reflective head.
It just gets so much better. He WhatsApped back straight away.
How did he get your WhatsApp?
Because I put it in the email. I said, WhatsApp me on this number. And then he was like, I love this. Can't believe you found my email. Let's go for a drink. And I was like, it's a match.
Oh, it's a match.
He was really like, it seemed like he was really down with the email thing. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, like he's so cool. I've done it. I've made it.
So cool.
We go for this drink.
Oh my God, it goes on.
Then we go for dinner. Yeah, it goes really well. He kisses me by my door. He walks me home. It's the whole like, magical. We've done it. We go on 2 more dates. One of them's a lunch date mid-office. Like, yeah, as in like weekday. He took me out for lunch.
Your boyfriend's in the next room. Is it him?
No.
Oh God, don't stop listening.
No, wait. He is fine. He probably already knows the story. So then this is January, by the way, and my birthday's the week after.
Oh God.
So I was like, it's going so well. I'm going to invite him to my birthday. And he was like, yeah, I'll come. And I was like, can you just bring, it was just at a pub. So I was like, can you bring friends though? Because like,
otherwise it's weird. Otherwise it's like, this is the guy that I like, everyone. Hey, here's everyone I've ever met that means something to me. Here's a random guy.
Also, my friends are the most excitable golden retrievers ever. They already knew all about the email, all about the whole story. I knew what I was getting into inviting him. And I was like, if he can handle it, perfect. That's why I was like, bring the friends. What did he do? Come alone.
No.
To make matters worse, I'm really close to my family. I've got 2 brothers.
Oh God.
And both parents are still together. They found out about my little party and thought it'd be really cute to surprise me.
Stop. And you've invited a random guy that you've met at the pool and then emailed on a company email.
We've only been on like 3 dates.
Internal Moodle.
So anyway, so I half blame him because he should have bought the friends, but he was so freaked out because he thought I knew that my family were coming. I didn't. Like, it was genuinely like, I like had a little cry when they arrived, like happy cry because I didn't realize they were coming.
I thought you were going to cry like, what are you doing here? You're ruining everything.
Oh no, I was so excited they were there. Like, I love them and they're like such good bands. Like,
yeah.
And they, like, my friends really like them. They're like, they were all like, got really drunk and it was like a great vibe.
Okay.
But he was freaked out, which... This is just like, we weren't a match. This is how I realised. So also my friends said some like interesting things.
Oh God.
They were just excited and they just really wanted it to work out. So I don't blame them either.
But they being like,
they freaked him
God,
out too.
Can't wait to see what your kids look like.
Yeah, but they were like, no, one of them was like, if you ever hurt her, I'll murder you.
Oh fuck.
And he was just like, what the fuck? I think he had to go out for some air at one point.
He doesn't even smoke or vape. He's just like, I just have to breathe some air that's not this air.
Okay, so like this whole night happened. I had a great time. I thought I had a nice time. I don't think he did, but whatever, his loss.
I loved it.
So the next day, he's like really weird with me. And I was like, I freaked him out. He's never coming back, is he? And then he, ghosted me. And that was it.
Fully ghosted?
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I even sent him it because this was like, so it was January 2020 was the birthday. So it was just before COVID. I even sent him a text in like April, March when we were in lockdown being like, how are you? Just read it and never replied. After all that. So this is why don't get too overexcited if you delete the apps and try and find your husband because he probably will get freaked out by your friends and family.
And the thing is, it's like the amount of guys that I've drunk texted and said worse things than how are you? And they still reply.
No, this was just like this was just in the day, you know. I was just like,
He just said,
I was like, hey, how are you? That was it. That was the message.
Want to know how you are? 'Cause I
Blue
care
ticked
about you.
the fuck out of me. And no, do you know what? I didn't add this in. Like, this was what. So the next day, he kind of was like really freaked out, and he was like, "This was what I found really weird." He was like, "I talked to my friends about like this whole thing," and he was like, "They think it's really weird how you got my email from the swim coach." And I was like, no. I got your email from the mailing list.
Yeah.
Don't make me out to be a psycho. And I should have seen the red flags because on our first date, he told me that his last 3 girlfriends were all psychos. That's a big red flag.
Yeah.
If they say that, the
it's
girls
like
are not, they can't all 3 be psychos.
What's the common denominator?
You. So he ended up calling me a psycho like the next day. And that's probably when I got the ick anyway.
Oh, dear.
Because I was like, I wasn't a psycho. I was just excited about you. And I found you via an email list. Like, yeah, okay, I didn't go down the whole, like, I found him through the marathon thing. But I feel like that should have been a cute, funny story. It shouldn't have been like, you're a psycho.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Like
and
basically
also
that's
like,
why he
what
ghosted
would
me.
people have done in the 90s?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, what social media exists, so you want me to stalk you and find you? Or
and
like,
he was like,
if I
would
find
have come back to
girl-
swimming eventually. And I was like, what was I meant to do? Just like wait around every week for you to come? Like, no. I was going to take
do you
action.
think I love swimming? No.
Yeah. And also you were so keen. Like as soon as you got that email, you loved it. You replied straight away being like, let's go for a drink. Like it wasn't like you were weirded out at that point. Yeah. So I don't really know what's changed other than the birthday.
No.
But yeah, he wasn't the one because he got weirded out.
Yeah, so what did you learn from that?
Maybe don't invite your potential guy to your birthday after 3 dates.
Love that.
But I think I'm actually going to backtrack on that advice. I think it was a really good thing. I nipped it in the bud and he decided I was a psychopath because I wasn't.
Nipped it in the bud.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get into how Single Sounds, your podcast, works, because me and you have just actually recorded my episode on Single Sounds, which is a dating podcast helping people to find love through a new format. Yes. So I'm going to let you take the reins here and tell us all about Single Sounds, and hopefully everyone listening, if they are looking for love, they can go and get in touch with Katie through Single Sounds and find a date. So let us hear all about it.
Yeah, so I feel like I should start at the beginning of like why I started it and like where it came from. We like to say our origin story. Be all dramatic.
So dramatic.
So it was actually how I met my lovely current boyfriend. We matched in lockdown, number 1, which was where in the UK, everyone was just like proper lockdown. You did not leave your house. So we did a month and a half of virtual dates. And when I say virtual dates properly, as in like we'd have drinks on FaceTime. We ordered Domino's to our own respective houses so we could eat together. Like we watched loads on Netflix Party. Like we tried to make it really creative.
Whoa. So you like really liked each other.
Yeah. We really went in hard with the virtual dating. And I literally ended up calling him like pretty much every night, even though we'd never met. Which was something I'd never experienced. Actually, backtrack. I was dating someone post swim guy, making me sound like such a crazy person. Pre-lockdown, I'd met him like 5 times, I'd say. So I was going like pretty well. He was also a swimmer, but not from the same club. I matched with him on Bumble. And he told me when lockdown came that he didn't do phone calls.
What?
Yeah. He said they make him really uncomfortable. And I was like, how do you work? Like, don't you have to call for work? And he was like, yeah, that's different. He was like, I don't even call my family. And I was like, okay, so how is this going to work? We had one phone call, 9:00 at night. It lasted for an hour. And he said to me at 10 that he was hungry. And I was like, oh, have you not eaten dinner? He was like, no, I just want to go get a snack. So bye. And we never spoke again. It was a mutual ghost. That's the punchline of that one. So that was my first experience. So when I matched with boyfriend, I was really rude. And I was like, I don't want a pen pal. We have to call now because I need to check that you can actually have a phone call. And he was great. Our first date lasted like 3 and a bit hours of just us drinking and chatting on FaceTime. We had loads in common. Cats being a big one.
I missed that time. I'm not going to lie. I missed the time when we dropped around baked goods to our friends' houses. My friend had her birthday party on Zoom. She was throwing up at 10 p.m. and someone had to call her mum to come and get her.
From her room?
Yeah, from her Like literally we were on Zoom watching her spew into
That's mad.
like an
like
old
a bin.
piece of Tupperware or something.
God.
And someone rang her mum like, go and help her.
That's tragic.
I missed that time.
But yeah, this is
Anyway.
what we did. We eventually then did go on a social distance picnic. But for that first date in person, I've never felt more calm, safe, like, and also just so happy that like it was going to go well. I was like, even if I don't find him attractive, I know that like this isn't going to end in like all those other tragic stories of like him ghosting me or him not being able to fucking do a phone call or all these other tragic things that I've had. So this was the muse of the podcast, because I was like, I want to try and like encapsulate it in short form and let other people understand the power of like getting to know someone. So like kind of what we talked about earlier, I feel like I've ended up swiping on people on those apps that I have nothing in common with because I've liked their photos, which is obviously like nothing about them.
It's so surface level, yeah.
I've had people tell me that they tolerate gay people on a first date. Tolerate is the word of choice that they used. These are the people that I've decided to match with. I've had people tell me that they've got a 5-year plan and that a committed relationship isn't in that 5-year plan, like on a date. And I'm like, well,
what am I doing here?
Why didn't you write that on your profile? I wouldn't have matched.
Yeah.
And then another one said that he wouldn't go on holiday anywhere other than Ibiza. Again, why wasn't that on your profile?
Are you a drug dealer?
And I feel like if all of those three men, just those three that I've picked out of my many experiences of terrible dates, if any of them had a podcast episode, I would have hated all of them. This is what I wanted to create. I was like, if you listen to someone for half an hour, you'll learn these silly little things. Like they'll probably mention the stupid holiday Ibiza thing. Or like, even if they don't, you'll be able to get it through another story because all their stories will relate to Ibiza. Yeah. And you'll be like, oh, they probably don't go anywhere else.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like
100%.
That was it. But yeah, this is the origin story. So it's like the power of personality that I think can really make you find an actual good person for you.
I love that so much. And do you know what? It's almost like, so if you listen to Katie's podcast, it's almost like you're on a date with the person, but you don't actually have to be there or commit to anything.
It's like lazy dating.
It's lazy dating. So you can just scroll through and find someone you like.
You can be cleaning, you know, doing your thing, going on a walk, listening to these single people.
It's absolutely amazing. And what do you think is wrong with current dating apps? So we sort of spoke about this before, and having a break from dating apps. What do you think is wrong with them that everyone is kind of agreeing with at the moment? Because I think that everyone talks about dating app breaks and dating app slumps and, you know, I'm over it and it's hard. Like, what's wrong with them?
But they are hard. It's because, well, for me, it was just because I was matching with the most uncompatible people in the world. Like, I don't think I literally could have gone to a bar and probably picked out better people. Like, I just was picking terrible people, and I don't think it was their fault necessarily or mine. It was just that there was no detail on these profiles. They'd write like, 3 funny sentences, have like 4 photos, and I'd be like, they look cute, and I quite like their prompts. Like, that's not who a person is. Most of the guys, especially, like, they don't even write their own prompts. Their friends write them for them, or they steal them from the internet. Like,
yeah, so true.
Like, it's not even them being authentic. Like, and I also just think it's like, there's too much choice. I think a lot of the problem with the apps, and I actually wrote to Bumble to tell them this.
Did you?
Yeah. They asked, and I was just like, I'm just going to tell them. I think there should be like some sort of limit, or like, if you want to make an app where people actually make genuine connections, you need to be able to scroll to the bottom of their profile first before you're allowed to move on. Like, you have to spend some time on it. You can't just be like, first photo no. Like, obviously sometimes you can literally tell, but I still think it's just encouraging this culture of like, you get rid of someone based on like one selfie. I just think you basically don't know the people you're swiping for.
And in saying that, what do you think is your best dating advice when it comes to things like apps or just in general?
So I think you should be picky about 3 maybe important things.
Yes.
And actually stick to them. Okay, so the amount of people that I dated, they're like, I'm not really sure if I'm looking for a serious relationship right now. And I continued to date them. Why did I do that? So stupid. Don't do that. Don't waste your time. Like, put your time and energy into the people that actually fit those criteria. And don't be superficial with it. Don't say they have to be earning over 50k.
Or they have to have brown hair.
Yeah, or they have to be over 6 foot. Like, no, not those. I mean, like, what you can really be fussy about.
Yeah.
Are they honest? Are they kind? Are they fun? Those sort of things. But pick 3 and only date those people that you know fit those 3. Like, and especially if you're looking for a long-term relationship, that is a non-negotiable. Don't flake around with that. Like, I think especially women, we're really good at being like, but I'll be the one that can change him.
Me.
Honestly, that's led me to years of heartbreak.
Yeah. What would your 3 be? What are the 3 most important things?
This is easy for me because I took so long to find it. Fun was the main one for me. I date a lot of like lovely, ambitious, successful people, but they were not fun. They just weren't. They just didn't really know how to enjoy life, and that's what I really want to do. So, traveling is a huge one for me.
Yeah,
I just like the guy who only wanted to go to Ibiza. That couldn't have been a bigger ick for me. I was like, I want to go to new places. I want to travel. Like, don't tell me we're going to Ibiza every year. I won't do it.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
No way. I won't go back to the same place twice unless it's like quite a big distance apart. I want to explore new places.
Yeah.
And the third was ambitious.
Love
but
that
doesn't have to be in work. It just had to be like you have something going on. Like you have a hobby. Like my current boyfriend loves golf. I fucking hate golf. I couldn't give a shit about golf. But I love how he loves golf. I love that he goes off and he plays his golf. He has something else going on. And I find that really attractive.
Yeah. Having their own life and their own interests is very attractive.
Exactly.
And what is your best date location, or what is your best date?
I loved this. You know, I rotated. Do you do that? I rotate the same couple. I did when I was
really well. I usually like to make the other person think of somewhere because then I can gauge something about them. Like if they're going to take me to mini golf, I know they're like competitive, and you know they're probably like have an inner child that they speak to, or like they're a bit like fun, you know, or if they're going to take me like for drinks to a posh cocktail bar, I'll decline and never talk to them again. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I quite like taking the reins. So I'd normally suggest more because I couldn't be bothered to come up with a shit idea.
Yeah.
And also I kind of use them as measurements. Oh, actually, we need to talk about this first.
Yeah.
I think everyone needs to do this. So on my Bumble, you know, girls have to speak first.
Yeah.
My starter was pick one of 4 options.
Okay. Love that.
It was so fun.
I
got really good at responses as well. So 1 is an interesting fact about me. That's A. B is a overly sexual, cheesy chat up line.
Very good.
C is a dad joke. And D is my favorite doggo meme.
Amazing.
If they pick B, don't date them.
Yep.
If they date the overly cheesy chat line, this is for someone who's obviously looking for like something serious.
Yep.
Don't date that person. Interesting fact, probably yes, but lead with caution. So for the interesting fact, I normally gave them a sexual cheesy chat up line to say well done for not picking that one.
Love that.
The doggo meme, they were normally your best kind of people.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Like if they asked for that one, love.
Yeah.
Dad jokes, again, a maybe. I say like A, C, okay. B, definitely don't go there. D, top tier. So if they pick D, they got to go to Cafe Kick, which was...
And then you allocate dates accordingly.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's like a whole process.
This is like a business.
Yeah. You got to be, again, I feel like if you're in this, you got to put your energy into it. It's like anything. You put in what you get, you know?
Love that.
Again, like some people are like, oh, you're so lucky you met your boyfriend on an app. I don't think so. Look at all this effort I went to of like filtering via message. I still ended up with shit people, but you know, like after I implemented these 4 steps, it got so much better.
Amazing. And so what was the best date location out of all of those?
Yeah, so if they picked D, that was the doggo meme. They got Cafe Kick, which was a table football bar in Clerkenwell.
Love that.
The happy hour is so good, and it's just like it's really easy to tell if they're actually fun, because obviously if they pick D, I'm assuming they're quite fun. Whereas A and C, if they got through, they'd go to Gordon's Wine Bar, which is more romantic, more like let's get to know each other, because those are the sort of questions that they picked. Again, more serious.
I love that.
So I obviously the dates I had the more fun on were the Cafe Kick ones, the ones that picked the memes, and then the less fun, ambitious people ended up being A and C.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was a whole process.
And this is my favourite question of the podcast. Have you ever fancied someone who you've had on the podcast? So obviously they come in, they do their spiel, they have their 30 minutes to an hour.
And they sit where you're sitting right now.
They're sat right here. Do you fancy me right now? Have you ever fancied anyone that you've had on the podcast?
I literally love you for asking this question. Yes. I thought it was so fun. I was like, she's getting the goss in there. She's doing it. And I know that everyone want to know this. Like my friends ask me all the time. And then I'm like, well, any ones that I do, you know who you should write in for. But yeah, obviously, like I am looking at it a different lens. I do have a partner. Like I'm not single. I honestly don't think I'd be able to do it properly if I was single, you know? Because I think I'd get too distracted.
Come around, have a few freshenettes.
I wouldn't want to release the ones that I like. I'd be like, oh, hang on, you can go on a date with me first.
Be like, yeah, I swear the episode's coming out next week. Actually, it's the week after. Yeah. Actually, it got corrupted and I have to delete it.
I never pressed record. Funny, weird. Haha.
So weird. Anyway, when are you free?
Do you want to go for a drink?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be so lying if I didn't say that there were people. I've interviewed some amazing men. I'm like, it's restored my, obviously I am heterosexual, so there's been fabulous women, but I always think women are fabulous. And there's been fabulous queer people as well. But again, like I'm not sexually attracted to them.
Yeah.
But the men, I've been really happy with who I've had on the podcast. Like they've really restored my faith in men, to be honest. And like some of them get absolutely mobbed with the dates and I'm like, you deserve it. The guy who's actually in a long-term relationship from the podcast, he was my friend from uni and he deserves the world. He's the best guy. You know, when you just think like you've just been really unlucky. And I said like, come on my podcast, I'll do it. And he got like 4 dates and I was so happy for him. And then like, now one of them's like his really serious girlfriend. And he was like, I've had like 6 years of people trying to set me up with people and you did it in 1 episode. And I was like, this is why I'm here, to showcase people like you. Like I want to showcase like amazing people.
And if that's not a calling card for if you're out there and you're unlucky in love, reach out.
Do it.
You can be there and just finding someone in 1 episode.
Take the leap.
And
make the effort.
My last question is, any advice to anyone who is out there feeling a slump in dating? So whether that's dating apps, dating in general, dating via finding people through your swim club's email, how might they be feeling a slump and how are you here to help them?
Yeah. Slumps are real, especially with the apps. And I'd say my best advice is take a breath, take a step back and think about why you're doing it. I think a lot of us go through the motions of like, I need to have a partner and like, I really want to find someone. But like, do you? Really? Like, and why? And why do you think you need to find someone? Is it because you're not very happy in like other aspects of your life? I always say it should be an extra, not, I hate the saying your other half. I think that's ridiculous. You should be whole as yourself and it should be like an extra to your life. Like if you're not very happy in yourself and it's kind of manifesting in dating as well, like you're unhappy in dating, I'd say, you're taking the break. Think about why you also need to take the break. Like you're probably not right in the right
place,
headspace. You're attracting the wrong type of people. If you're always attracting people with like issues, mental health or otherwise, like think about why that is that who you're attracting? Because you're manifesting that almost. Your energy, your vibes off.
Katie, I love that, and it's been such a pleasure having you on the podcast and doing my first in real life podcast, so thank you so much for joining.
You're welcome.
I hope you enjoyed my chat with the wonderful Katie Mack. Please let me know on my Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm literally everywhere these days if you have any stories or thoughts of your own to share. Love and elbow taps. Peace.